Let's see how this goes. I should be, at this point, streaming. I'm gonna see if I am, just by going to my YouTube channel on my phone. It says we are live. I'm gonna share this on my Instagram. 1 second. I'm also going to copy. Oh, you know what? I should really leave it so I can see comments and stuff. Is there a way that I can do that? I can do it from my phone. But I'm so used to a Twitch setup. I really should have thought of that before I went live. Oh, well. Do one for my story, upload a picture of this. And a link here. I'm gonna put in some stickers. That's an arrow sticker. For the, few people that do follow me on Instagram. I find Instagram, it's interesting. It has so many good tools, but like Gen Z refuses to use it, which is fine. I think the visibility is really poor on Instagram. Instagram really wants you to have a niche, right? Well, things like TikTok, you can kind of just be yourself, vibe, and that's totally fine. Oh, sorry if you can hear my phone in the background there. Uploading this to my TikTok stories now. Select yes. Yes. As I kind of just wait for... Alright. Sorry about this. Let me put this on mute for a second. And we're back. All right, so I have this set up so I can see my own chat on my phone. And you could hear myself for a second because I left my phone sound on. But we're actually live now. And I think I'm the only one who's probably going to watch this throughout the entirety. But that's fine. What I've learned about live sessions is that it's more about getting over that fear, the original fear of putting yourself online and just having fun with it. All right, so what I've got here is this Meredith here, and I put her in I was looking up keywords around goth and Lolita and stuff, and I came across this really interesting style I cannot remember the name of. I do a lot of research for her style stuff because she isn't just, I didn't want to put in anything that felt a little bit too cliche, and this one definitely wasn't. However, the original shoes, I didn't save the pictures, so we're going to use these shoes over here, which for all I know is just the wrong shoe entirely, but we're going to go for it. Also, I suspect these shoes are heavily photoshopped. That or these are very wide legs. Wide feet. Kind of skinny. They also look kind of a little on the cheaper side, but we're gonna work with that and make it look expansive. Another goal I had with this drawing was I wanted to work on a different way of doing the shading. And so right now, as you can see, it's really just line work at the moment. Trying to dissect what is even going on here. But later I want to do a shading kind of like this. This is Mahjong Soul, which has, sorry about the feet, but it has a lot of these little characters that are so well painted. They're so well painted. A lot of them are really horny for no reason, but look how well painted this is. Mind you, the skin tone is insane. Like this is, I wouldn't know if I would paint someone with just like a little bit of blush and that's it, but like the hair, the everything, that's insane. I don't have any high-res reference from it, even though I play a lot of Mahjong. But I wanted to try and kind of mimic off of what they're doing there, because it looks good. I want that. I want to learn what they're doing, even though I would never be able to do it for like a comic, but for just in general, I think it would be extremely marketable to learn. Alright, so I can tell that I am falling into kind of the... What is going on here? If you look at this... Oh, I see. That's so weird. So the bows go up and down, and then there's like two... Mine looks so silly in comparison. I'm not entirely sure how I want to draw that. Maybe that's fine. That's fine for now. Then we have these rivets all the way down. Good fun. There's a lot of ways to do kind of repetitive stuff like that. And you can make it into a brush to do, or if you just want to get it done, you just draw it. This will be the base. I'm gonna delete this layer later, but it'll help me get stuff down. As you can tell, I've also changed the shoot from what it was originally. And I think I'll leave it pointy. I know this one's more chunky. That one had to draw a lot of things. It also has this funny buckle right there. So many fun things I'll do later. By the way, the soundtrack is Xenoblade 3 Lo-Fi, which I have yet to finish. It's such a good game. It's such a good game. And I was surprised, because Xenoblade 2, it was pretty good as a game. Like, it was extremely a game, you know, that you would play and forget about, basically, once you were finished. 3 had a lot going on. Highly recommend Xenoblade 3. Good times. I gotta tell you, I'm kind of just drawing the shape of a buckle and not what a buckle actually looks like. Yeah, let's do that again. Their buckle goes out and then in. This would be easier to do if I had my reference right next to me. I'm kind of remembering what it did. I'll probably be streaming for just an hour or so. I want to get back in the habit. I used to do weekly streams, actually, so it's not that I'm afraid of it or that I don't have the materials to do it. Although, let me tell you, it is a little bit amateur hour for me. The way that I stream, I'm not like one of those pro people that have like a soundboard and all that. The video game streamer people, like, they do really incredible stuff. I don't think we don't give enough recognition for how insane video game streamer setups are. How do they do it? Like, actually unhinged? Okay, so that's the beginning. Something I like about this boot is that it has a lot of wrinkle and stuff. So I'm gonna drag her over here so I can actually still see it when I'm close. Make this a little bit lighter so I can see through it. This is a lot of what drawing is being willing to redraw something you already drew once and being okay with it. Like, you have to be okay with going back in there and being like, yeah, it's not perfect yet. I'm not gonna do exactly the same thing. And this is mostly because I don't think it would look good, or the fact that I made her legs are a little bit wider. By the way, the YouTube one is so behind. I'm like looking down at my phone. So if I'm really behind on answering comments, I don't know if anyone's gonna leave any, just because I haven't streamed in 5 million years. If anyone left any comments, I apologize if it takes me just so long to answer back. Not my intention. Now, let's see. Yeah, these are kind of cheap, so they do have kind of like a fabric to them. I could decide to make it more expensive looking, to make it less wrinkly. But nah, we're gonna keep it the same. Let me put that in a new layer. Alright, then we can delete stuff that goes behind. When I'm doing line work, I really want it to look clean and smooth. When it gets to be really finicky and small like this, it becomes harder to do. And so I want to be really very careful with that. Now for the bow. I'm going to actually switch over to a different pen. This is the round pressure size pen, and we're gonna do a stroke. When you're doing lacing, stroke it's just so nice. I'm gonna make it like 6, I think. Come on. Oh no. This is something that happens occasionally. I have to go over to my other window. Photoshop has been having an issue. It's not just Photoshop too. It's actually, oh, hello. It's over here. I forgot. Let me move this over here. I have to type into a different program to use my pen again. And this is a mix of not just Photoshop, but also Lazy Nezumi, which is my pen stabilizer. I love my pen stabilizer, so even though this is really annoying, I will be fine with dealing with it, because it means that I can use this pen in a way that I think looks really good. Although, yeah, super, super annoying that it's like this and I have to deal with it. What do you do? Trying to think of how this would wrap around. A little bit like that. And then I'm just gonna use my erase back. I don't ever use the eraser side of my pen. I always use the what do you call it? Whatchamacallit thing. Stroke is a little thick. We can go maybe 3. Yeah, 3 looks good. And then we can erase it on this side as well. Like that. And now we got half our shoelaces in. To do the other half, we're just going to make another layer. For stuff that goes under the bow, that's going to be separate. So new layer, we're going to copy this layer effect. And this is something you can do in Clip Studio as well. It's a very, really common thing you can do. Because we all got to make lacing. It looks so cool. Oh, how could we not? And so don't be afraid to go over stuff. We can delete it. And that is also how you make a more confident line, is by just not being afraid to make mistakes as you go. We all make mistakes, they're fine. Erase, erase, erase. And these little details here, by the way, these are like, I like to call them money details. People pay money for. They look at laces, they know they can make laces. Everyone knows they can do that. Well, most people know. Some people legitimately can't imagine it. They don't want to. That's really the secret trick, is that artists do what a lot of people are just unwilling to do. And it's usually the little repetitive things we sometimes complain about. But that is starting to come together, which I like. As you can see, there's a bunch that is under the bow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a group and then I'm going to put this on it. This here is a mask. What the mask can do is delete stuff without it actually having the stroke applied around the edge of what you deleted. Because if I did this on the same layer, then I would have to deal with the stroke stuff. So I'm going to put this underneath. There we go. Underneath that layer, underneath. I have to move things around a little bit. Because I need this layer to be underneath. Oh, is that on the same layer as the bow? Struggle! That is on the same layer as the bow. Alright, what we can do is just get that selection here. I press the control button and I click this little brush here. So I could select everything on that layer. And now it's selected, when I go into the mask, it will only delete that selection there. So this is really, really helpful if I just want to make a really clean situation. So there we go. That's cleanly done. The bow is still just so thick compared to the line work in the laces itself, so I think I will do some finagling of laces here. And that might be in a later time. We'll find out. I'm just looking down at my YouTube right now, and I'm really hoping that this isn't a, what do you call it? Let me just see if it's like actually, I might be broadcasting a slideshow. I'm gonna move this around like this and see if my phone catches up and actually gives me like a smooth look, or if this is just still a slideshow. If it's a slideshow, I'm going to have to figure something out. It could be that it's because I'm recording, and that's fine. I can just turn off the recording. Maybe this is kind of stupid with the pointy heel. Kind of want to put a bow down here. It's the same type of bow where it is this, and then, gosh, I really am. It's a slideshow. No, my worst streaming fear. I had this all set up and ready to go when I used to stream on Twitch, and it was fine. Lately I have found, maybe it's a YouTube thing. I don't know. I'm gonna try something really fast. We are going to stop recording it and see if that helps. So this will catch up eventually. Whoop. 1 second, I need to get my mouse over here. Whoa! Did I make 2 layers of that? Beautiful. Sometimes you can do that. It is a quick key. Alright. Now, for this is going to be even more to the side. And I'm gonna do that. You'll notice I go beyond where the line starts and stops. I find this, when you're working digitally, it's really easy to make sloppy work that looks kind of like flash animation. And I do not want that look at all. Even though there is a space for that look, I don't like the sloppiness of it. Spent way too long playing all them phone games to make it look a little bit like a phone game. And we're gonna kind of start where we know there is going to be this really lovely wrinkle going on the shoe, and then we have like this hard part of the shoe here, and that kind of holds it up. I got into watching shoe videos on YouTube. I don't know if anyone else ever has that urge to watch a shoe, like a history YouTube fashion history video, but you learn a lot about how these work. And like soft shoes, like really soft was how it was for a very long time. So I did call this cheap earlier, and I think the shoe still looks fairly cheap, but historically that's actually pretty correct, that it was a very fabric-y type of thing right here. All right, let's see if my YouTube has caught up, or I'm gonna keep streaming, but I might have to end up making it cut short and then figure out on my end why it's doing this. I used to stream with like really no trouble at all. And when I was listening to it, it sounded like the audio was fine. So that's correct. But something else I'm doing has set it off, and I don't know what it is. Right now for the bow. We're gonna do... This is a shame. I haven't even gotten to the coloring part, which is the fun part. That I assume if anyone's going to show up, it'll be when I'm coloring. Doing line work isn't as exciting. It's okay. You don't have to be here for the line work. Or for really anything if you don't feel like it. No pressure. I want it to look nice and clean. These, I'm on a fence about whether or not I draw this part. Like these bow details where it does this sort of thing, especially because I'm not one-to-one following this at all. But maybe it's worth doing. I am planning on changing the color of the line later anyway, so maybe this is fine. Except I am still... I'm drawing the assumption. I'm drawing the shape. I'm not actually drawing it very well. Alright, is this actually drawing something? Maybe it's on my phone's end. Why would it be so weird? Here's what I'm gonna do. If I start and stop it, I wonder if it's going to... I'm gonna try something, because right now it's just not streaming correctly. Let's go into the settings. My encoder is set to good quality. Bit rate's 160. The bit rate is 6,000 kilobytes a second. If I turn that down, I'm gonna do medium for medium quality and see if that helps. All right, we continue. And in about like 5 minutes or so, I can see if it actually changed anything on the streaming end. It could be that it won't change until I put in like, what do you call it? A thingy. What do you call it? Oh yeah, when I restart the stream, that's what I meant to say. Wow, my mind blanked. In the meantime, hoping that this will catch up and look normal. We're just gonna keep going. And I'm gonna set up our guide again, because I'm not a perfect human being and I need to put guides underneath my art. Completely normal. I could count them to see if it's the same number on both sides. I'm not going to bother because no one else will do that either. Your secret, my secret, we both have a secret, and it's that I did not count these buckles to see if they were the same. I feel like when it's over 5 or 6, ain't no one going to be counting that. Same with I like a 7, maybe they could, but like past the point of 10, like who can perceive that? Like, congrats if you can. I can't. And then we're going to, that one needs to be more square. Going to add another one. Add the buckle that goes up here. I don't really need to draw the full triangle. I'm just going to, even though I will cover it up with the laces eventually. Here we go. And then we're going to delete what's overlapping. Before I forget to delete stuff, at this point, honestly, if the whole thing was detailed like this, I would actually raise the DPI. What that does is it keeps it the same printer size, but it increases the amount of pixels per inch. And that can be really, really helpful. Oh, one second, I need to sneeze. No, I don't, just kidding. JK! I sneeze so much. Alright, I'm going to use these same layers to set up this. I will make these the same, so we're going down. As I was saying before I interrupted myself with a sneasel. I don't remember what I was saying. Something about you never count the stuff that's on your art because no one else will. And then I got distracted. Anyway, off we go to put in our laces here. Ooh. Taking advantage of that Control Z, it's here for us to use. And our eraser tool to kind of put this into the right shape for a shoelace to be. And then of course the stuff that's behind here, it's fine. It'll get sorted out eventually. And then up here there's like a bow, so I don't really have to worry about that as much. I do have to put that over there. Stuff behind that bow will eventually get erased, just like we did last time. And then we do this. I'm not really paying attention to the reality of shoelaces. If I was doing like, even if I was doing like something that's a very like realistic painting, let's be real, I would just kind of fudge, do some sort of illusion for shoelaces anyway. You very rarely will have to pay attention to the exact anatomy of something this finicky. I do want it to, there we go. Looks like I don't really need something right there. I am gonna erase a bunch of it. Looking good. All right. And make sure to compliment yourself whenever you're doing art. You should always give yourself a pat on the back if it was something that was kind of, you know, just took a while, that you knew was good to do, like eating your vegetables type of thing. We have that in art. This is my vegetables. I'm gonna go into the mask now. We're gonna delete this stuff that's covering up my bow. And then for the bow itself, we're just gonna take those pixels with the Control key, so that way I can go in with this and like really make sure that nothing is on top of my line art. Let me grab that and erase that layer. Let me grab this and erase this layer, perhaps. All right, almost done. This is kind of an awkward line here. Oh, I did it perfectly with the wrong color. Always the case, isn't it? And doing a line right the first time, it's practice that you get over time. Don't be too concerned if it's like taking a while, or if you have to use Control Z a bunch. We all Control Z a bunch, it's fine. Digital art for you. All right, that looks great. Again, always compliment yourself, always. And now we can just do the bow on the other foot here. I will be honest, I draw a lot slower when I stream. And I'm gonna look down and see, did my streaming get better? Or is it still a slideshow? Hey, it looks like that helped. We're no longer a slideshow, guys. We're getting there. We're getting to the quality you'd expect from a person who's done this multiple times in their life and should really be better at it. Streaming is a little bit technical. Not hard, it's just technical. If I was doing like video game streaming, it's, in my opinion, so much harder because you have to entertain an audience. Pfft, who does that? I mean, I do that, obviously, but I just use my talent for that. I don't have to make a, you know, boring video game seem interesting. I admire anyone who can do that. All right. The very top of this, there's these little dangly strings, these shoelaces that are made of like silk. I don't know how this shoe stays on your body, but it's probably not intended for wearing more than like a single convention. And it looks like they do just a normal rabbit ear bow. And so we're gonna do that. I might make a new group for that as well. So let me copy this layer style and then paste it here. And Clip doing a whole, let me use this one. Anyway, and Clip doing like a whole like stroke is like one button because they expect you to do it a lot. In Photoshop, because it's not really intended for comic use or for illustration use, to be completely honest with you, it's kind of hidden away. And I am deciding, do I want to cover up that bow or do I want to make it like this type of thing, or do I want it to cover it up? Because like maybe I do want it to cover up because it looks kind of cute when it's like that, which would be both bows. Both bows would be pretty well covered. Lost my stroke. I pressed Control Z too many times. I could also decide to nix the bow entirely and just leave it like that. And I think I will because I'm playing around with it and I don't like it. And I'm the one who decides. So I don't need to do it if it doesn't work with me. I'll bring this up to here, and as you can see, I have some stuff to delete from this original layer. I was just placing where the legs are. I didn't draw feet. Some people do like the entire anatomy underneath their clothes. I don't get it. Oh, you know what? I should probably keep that line, huh? The line behind the shoe there. It's a big line though. Ooh, I should delete it. Looks like over here I could delete it. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Might be good just to have because it looks a little bit like a shadow. We shall see. And then this here, I actually had it going in front of the shoe a little bit, and I don't think I'm going to do that anymore. It was sort of a weird angle, but this little area goes all the way behind. I really wish I still had the original reference because it was so interesting. It's such an interesting and kind of weird outfit, which I respect it, even though I wouldn't wear it, but I respect it, which is how I feel about a lot of fashion, to be honest. I respect you. I'll draw you. Ain't no way in hell I'm wearing you. Seems like a lot of work to pull off this outfit. You have to wear those shoes. Okay, and then I've got this hand here, which as you can tell is a little sketchy. That's because my original reference is gone for how this hand worked. And so I'm just gonna make it up. I should take a picture of my own hands, and I'm not going to. This is in part because I have baby hands. They're so small, and so I never really stick to the reference of my own hands because I can't. There, good enough. Good job, Meredith. Well, we're just gonna delete those original hands because they were ugly. This is mostly there, mostly complete. These boots are very silly with this outfit. But the point is that it's silly. It's kind of like a weird lingerie vibe. Now for the hair. Looking back at their reference, they have like really simple hair shapes. And then later is when we're gonna be in hair hell. It's gonna happen. We all go to hair prison one day. If you do art at all, hair prison is just the price that you pay. And we'll be there together in hair prison, at least until I've decided I've streamed long enough and to free you from hair prison by just ceasing to stream. Just turning it off. And do I give her the bunny ears? In this outfit, it feels a little bit Playboy, so I don't think I will. Just have her not with them. That's the thing about Meredith. She does have those ears, but there's like a hidden meaning to the ears and might not really work with her vibe. I could do some little like, because I have some strings coming off. A little off her feet might be kind of fun. Oh, goodness. Sorry, that happens when I press the G button, and I've turned that off in the past because it's so annoying. I didn't turn it off today though, as you can see. All right, we'll have a little bit of that going off. That, just for a little snazz to our character design. All right, so the next step is to color it. And I have here a couple of actions I've saved. This one is to save folders for lines. What it does is it turns everything into lines and fill. This makes it just way easier later. And I'm going to save it as a PNG. And then I'm going to do something on the other monitor, which is to use something called flatten. And I'll put it on this monitor in a second. Oh boy! No, I won't. Sorry. I have to do this. Ah, now we can. So Flatten is a browser program. It does not save your art up to their cloud or whatever. It's just a program that will flatten your art. I like it a lot. This is how I tend to do things, just because I find those paint bucket tools to be very inefficient, the ones that come with like Clip Studio. And so doing this is just, it's so quick and it does so much work for me. As you can see, this looks like a mess, but what it is that it saves a PNG file that happens to be so that it fits perfectly under my line art, like so. Oh, wait 1 second. I have to retry the server. If you left a comment and I didn't see it, I am so sorry. There we go. I did a retry to see if that worked. All right, here we are. So first of all, this tells me some things. So we have a big spot right there that should not be here, which is good to see. I'm going to go into my actions. I'm actually going to saturate the colors and then make everything rasterizable. Just kidding, I did it on the wrong layer. We need to be on the right layer, which is this flats layer, which I'll put right here. You turn to color, and so what that does is it makes everything a lot more saturated, which makes this next part a lot easier of just like going through and mapping out where stuff is. So just very quickly map this down. At any point I can close this fill line to be like, hey, I have a whole bunch of stuff that I actually don't want it to sense, and so we can just fill it back. And this is just easier. This inner tongue area should be like that. This bow, I'm gonna make it a pink color. In fact, I think all the bows I'm gonna make a pink color. So that way I can select them all at the same time and work on them all at the same time. Usually I don't have like this much level of detail. This is a very detailed shoe. I also never put a buckle up there. Problem for tomorrow, Rachel. Oh well. Oh! I saw something pop up. Oh! That's just me using flatten in the past. Sorry, my phone led me so far astray. We're just gonna continue doing this. You might think this takes forever. Again, it's not usually this detailed, and also takes less time than fixing paint bucket mess ups in Clip Studio Paint, in my opinion. Which not everyone shares that opinion, so don't go around thinking that Clip Studio Paint is bad. It's not. I just have my own preference. And then we're gonna do all of these the same color. I'm gonna use this bright green for the buckles. I'm gonna do all the buckles at once so I can select them all at the same time. Anything that's this gray color is something that kind of got lost. Like the computer didn't know what to do with it. Oh, actually, we can also make that yellow. But now all of these colors are next to each other, so if I want to make this line a little bit transparent, it's absolutely fine to do that. And we can go in this, I have a dissolve brush. What that means is it's on dissolve. And what dissolve does is it makes it kind of like pixel art, where you have this very hard, like, there is no aliasing basically. And aliasing is when you have a smooth, like, see how there's an aliasing here on this line right there, where it's like from black to green. There's stuff in between. This line has no aliasing, which is really important to doing this step. So let me just really quickly make all that stuff disappear. And this is how I prefer to paint and draw most of the time, is with my full screen like this. This is why I have a big monitor after all, because I don't use a Cintiq at the moment. I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about getting one. The dark side is calling me. I know that eventually I'm gonna have to. I don't know who will continue to use these screen boys in the future. It feels like something that millennials do, because we were raised with screen tablets. So like we know how to use them. Like this was the only option I had when I was younger. Was this screen situation? All right, and then I'm just deciding what will be the best way to color this, because I want to use the coloring style that I saw, and so I'm not gonna actually make these separate. Like usually the underneath of the little ripples on these ripples, the underneath of the, what do you call these things? The thing on the close, the rip, the fringe. Anyway, the underneath is usually, I make it a separate color because it is. That's where the shadow is. But I'm not doing that here because I feel like I will want to paint that, like fully paint that. There might be some things that might be useful to have a selection, but this will be just fully painted because that's how my reference tends to paint things, is they get real in there and they don't use the quick, you know, comic way of, well, I made this line work so I wouldn't have to go in and paint anything. They don't care, they just paint it anyway. So I guess I'll just be ignoring the underbits. Part of me wondering if I should make these all separate layers even here. We're gonna find out if this was good or bad to do, and we can always go back in later. So it's what it is. I will make the 2 legs a different color. We're gonna do our best. Which is my motto for any art I do. Doing my best. You know, if it's for a client or... Of course, I never show... You don't want to show fear to your client. Because then they'll be like, have I hired the wrong person? Oh no. But, you know, I try to approach it with, well, it'll be what it is. And there's no fear. Like, if you mess up doing something new, it still looks good, usually. Even if it doesn't look good, it's like, well, I did that. It's still better than what a lot of people can make. I think we forget sometimes how far we've come, especially if we compare ourselves to, like, professionals in the industry who are, like, you know, godlike because they had to be. Truth is, you had to start from somewhere, right? And they have bad days, they just don't usually put them online. At least in my opinion, they don't. I'm pretty sure they still have bad days. Maybe there are people out there that never have a bad day. Man, if only. Alright. This is a lot quicker now. I forgot that I left this situation down here. Let's clean that up. I'm not actually planning to put a background of this because I am just testing out how to do this rendering style, and obviously there's a lot of steps to it because it's so detailed, which is why I feel the need to get like very persnickety about my color selections here. I'm also kind of bummed out that I don't have my original reference of this outfit, so I can't just use the colors they had. It was mostly white though, which I might change just because it's a little bit easier to have some color in there, especially when you're dealing with like shadow, light and shadow. All right. And then we've got a really fun and interesting outfit up here. At least I think it's fun and interesting. It does something odd. There's like a top that has like an anime, I don't even know what you call this. I don't want to call it a harness because it's clearly not. It's some sort of like reminds me of like what we usually put on boy anime characters, because you can't show like booby, boy booby that is, and so they cover it up with like a little like halter thingy. It's this type of thingy right here, except it's a little lower on guys, but it's on like a girl, and it looks cute. I'm gonna make the fringe a different color, I think. Habitually I used my eraser just now, which was not good because my eraser is not aliased. I mean, it is aliased, and I want to avoid aliasing as much as possible. I'm making this fringe the same color as the shirt because I didn't do any sort of fringe down there, which was my own mistake, honestly. As you can see, as we get closer and closer towards the finish, it goes a little bit faster. We were in a real spot with those shoes. Put in so much detail on those shoes. I think it's because it's what I did today. I wanted to do some drawing, and I sure did it. All right, I'm gonna leave her face a purple color. I'm gonna leave it separate from the neck, just so it's a little bit easier to do it separate from that. I'm like debating if I like how the hair does this right here. I gave her more of a bun here. Usually she has more of like an emo cut, or not emo, I guess a wolf cut. That's what we're calling it nowadays. The emo cut and the wolf cut are so similar. Even though I guess the bangs are what's really so different about those two haircuts. But like the amount of layers is very samey. That gray got in there and I need to delete that gray later. I'll do like a kind of a more thorough run through and delete stuff that should not be there. Ah, and you know what I just noticed? This line work is like red. Let's make it black. That's white. That's... There we go. This is black. So much. You can see a huge difference. Even though it's like a slight color difference, huge difference. Am I right? I want to get some colors on. Usually when I do this method also, I keep a color library of Meredith's colors that are not like in a, what we would normally think of as a color library for a character. So we're gonna see how that goes. In fact, all of the separate shading for the eye and stuff probably won't matter because if you look back at this reference, I think they just go back in and fully paint over that eye. Like clearly they had line work to start, but at some point they just went in and started painting. It still maintained their line work, which to me is insane. Like, how does one do that? No, I'll pull that out later. We have done all of the selections. Yes. So now to make separate layers here, we'll do a head, hair, shirt. Call that thing the harness, I guess. Unisleeve. I don't know what else I'd call it. Overskirt. And then we got the shorts. Shoes. Next to hair, I'm going to do just general skin. And we're going to make this flat layer invisible. We're going to use a gray. And the reason why I like to use gray for like my default background color is because it keeps it more neutral. So I'm going to kind of do like a warm to cool. Oh, no, come on there. This will be in a background. You want it to be about a mid-tone, and this will prevent us from doing just insane things. Like if you look at the skin tone here, it looks kind of crazy. Like I'm the whitest person I know. That's very light, and it happens when you paint on too light of a color. It's something I want to avoid happening. So we're gonna go with something different, even though I will probably start like that one feels a little bit more natural. Oh gosh, it's so bright. There. Since we're gonna go on top of that with like color, this is like what they think is the shadow color. We'll see how I feel about that in a sec, but for now, it's this pink color. Now for the hair, she is a blonde. We're gonna grab that. See what happens. This might, I probably will need to, yeah. Whoop. If you do Control U, you can kind of change the hair color a little bit. Make it darker, less saturated, and just, we're gonna start it brown, and then we're gonna add stuff to it to make it look more brunette. For the shirt, this was like a very cream colored shirt, not cream, white. We're gonna start with a gray, like that, and then put on a pattern on top of it. And so I have a couple pattern things. If I have hook up lace, I do have like this. I do this green. You can kind of see we have a dissolve on. I have to turn that off. It might be fun to do like a bigger lace just because this is, you know, art, obviously, so it won't be as easy to see. And then we can go in there and we can kind of mess with it with the warp tool. So see how I can kind of like move it around a little bit. And you do have kind of a warp tool in Clip Studio Paint. It's not bad, and I highly recommend it if you would like to be able to kind of adjust patterns. When it comes to doing patterns, you really don't need to do too much adjustment. And I think in some places, like on this particular sleeve, we're actually going to just do this to kind of tilt it over to the side, and we can stretch it out a little bit. And that will make like a pattern that we can still see when it's very small. Of course, this is ignoring, like, how they do have patterns in some places though, so we're just gonna tack on shadow on top of the pattern. So right now we're just doing what we like to call a local color, and local color is basically what it looks like without any shadow applied. We're gonna do the same thing with the unisleeve here. And I will put on a pattern. Let me tilt her around. Let me screen that. Oops. Yeah, I think that pattern looks kind of fun. So we're gonna just keep it. And then for the overskirt, I think we can keep it kind of similar, but maybe more blue in tint. So it's still white. That doesn't feel white at all. Here, let's take out that saturation a little bit. Maybe I should make it a little bit warmer just so it matches. So like right there feels pretty good. Feels like a good neutral. And then we're going to take both of these. And on these shorts, what I'm gonna do is actually use a gradient. I do this a lot, where a gradient can kind of look like something is a layer on top of another layer. This is just bizarre. It still works. It reminds me of, so back in the double O's, we had these skirts. We called them like the chicken skirt because you looked like a chicken if you wore it, and had a lot of ruffles on it. Yeah, good. I put that on the right layer. And that's the vibe I get. I want the shorts to be lighter even and less saturated. There. I want them to feel a little bit separate. And then for them boots, where did my original boots go? I can actually use that for color picking. Except I won't. I'm gonna use this blue. We're just gonna use the paint bucket here. I'm gonna do the lip of the shoe. No, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do the same layer. I think they did, so I think we should also. Normally I'd make it a separate layer. We ain't doing that today. we ain't doing that, folks. So the shoes, I'm gonna make it just generally darker because I think it should be. It's a different fabric even than what was on top of it. And then them bows. Oh, this is a different color. My flats are incorrect. Look what happened. Let me just make sure this is right. Dissolve brush. There it is. Oh boy, it's just huge. That's why. Okay, we all make these mistakes sometimes. Alright, we can turn back on their film and do sensible things. So the bow that's gotta be separate, right? And I'm gonna say the bows were a little bit, I'm gonna make them a little bit darker so they look shinier. And then these guys, that's just part of shoes. For the overskirt, we'll call it the under overskirt. That's gonna be this nonsense right here, which honestly would probably be about the same shade as our neutral gray. But I'm gonna make it a little bit bluer. Needs to be even darker. That's way too... yeah. I'm gonna make it even darker just so I can tell it apart from the things around it. It looks like it has a lining now, which is something I can do, is put like a fun lining on there. So if I wanted to make it like red or gold or something, we could just have a fun lining on the back. Like blue might be really fun down there. Red makes the most sense though. Yeah, we're gonna do a lining down there. Red. Just because I don't want it to be the same color as everything else. Harness, we're gonna keep it white. Everything will be white except for that, the underlining back there. And then of course we have this little, I guess they're called like a frog clasp. We'll call it a clasp here. I'm gonna keep it in silver, like that. And then of course, we're not done with her face. We'll just make this that color. Same with her teeth. I gave her black makeup, like black lip makeup, because I wanted this to be kind of that kind of witchy goth, but you're wearing all white look, which I think is a lot of fun. And then her eyes are pretty easy. I don't think I should start with blue and red though, because it'll be so bright that I won't be able to use computer magic and make it look really anime for those eyes. And I think also for the eyes, we are going to have to... We're gonna have to bump up the DPI. Like, there's no way. So there she is. There's Meredith now. We haven't done any shading at all. Shading is the next step. But I don't think they shaded the way you would typically shade. Like, if you look at this, there's no hard shadows anywhere. I think they just went in and painted it directly. So the shadow isn't a separate layer. They just knew what they were doing. So we're gonna try that out. Let me see how long I've been going. Oh, it's been about an hour, so you need to take a break. So I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll just leave this here. I'll be back in a few. And then we'll work on shading for probably about half an hour, and then I'll wrap up this stream. So let me just write that down here. Would you like my papyrus font, by the way? I wish I had an excuse for why this is on my computer, but I don't have one. Taking quick Right to rest hands. All right, I'll be back. And we're back. Thanks for... If anyone pops in or out, hello. I really don't know if my YouTube thing is up to speed as far as comments go. Next thing we have to do is these shoelaces, right? So we're just going to very quickly make them work. Like this. However, I do think that the shoelace group, we're gonna call this the shoelace group. Really good to label it. We'll have to leave the lines group because what I'm going to do now is change the color of the lines. Because something I noticed about these, I was just thinking about it. None of these lines are black, really, unless it's like a situation like this where they left it black so you could tell it's in front of something else, but a lot of these are colored, and so there's a couple ways that could have happened. What they could have done is by adding like glow filters and dodge filters, it changed that black to a different color, say with screen or something like that. So maybe it was initially black and then over time, over all of their coloring, it just changed color. I think they started with a different color, however. So we're gonna go for it. We're gonna kind of take this brown, it's in the hair, put it down on the whole thing, and we're gonna make more of a warm color here. This is another reason why I left her face a little bit like that. This will be a little bit darker here. I'm just gonna use this color to start, see if that feels okay. Feels all right, right? This might be too light also. And like down here, obviously that's wrong. It should be a red because this is red. I'm using a soft airbrush tool, so it's not going to be exact at this point. It's something where later on I'll have to change as I get there. These shoes, is that black? No, I think they should be darker than the background, right? So this is a good color. And eventually I will have to go in with a finer brush to fix that. Also this situation right there. All right. It is what it is at the moment. And we're gonna pull this out and we're gonna zoom in on a little bit and we're gonna give it our best shot to copy this hairstyle, well, the shading of this hairstyle into that hair, which I don't know, man. First things first, let's bump this up. 300 is killing me. We're gonna need 500 DPI. Hopefully I can still stream at high enough quality. Once 500 DPI. We are gonna find out. And I'm going to switch to a soft but like kind of like half hard thing, and we're gonna go for it. Why isn't the V button working? There we go. So we're selected on hair here. And this is just gonna be my reference. And we're gonna go for it. So here they have like colors like that, but I'm going to use the dodge tool. Because I feel like they use that quite a bit. Okay. A little bit. I'm sensing that a little bit. And then we're going to carefully think we're just going to kind of dissect this a little bit. I cannot tell how they're doing this. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that never... Alright. 1 second. I made a mistake. Gotta delete everything outside that hair layer now. Like a different style between her and her. We're gonna stick to this one. This one makes a little bit more sense to me. It also has the little like the anime hair vents that my girl has. And I think they just have a massive file. That's gotta be the secret, right? Not much of a secret, but also I don't think this is... I think this is what I want. Turn that opacity down. We're gonna go just normal round brush, which you would be shocked is a lot of the solution to a lot of issues in art. It's just digital art uses a lot of this brush. And then once you know what you're doing, you can step away from this brush. But like initially this brush tends not to lead you astray. See, she's not really a brunette, so I don't want to do too much brunette. Look, I do want to make it more blonde as we go. Okay. Okay, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling that. And I don't know at what point they decided, hey, you know what? We're just gonna go over our line work. Because they definitely did at some point. They also have a little bit coming in from over here. But that's like out on the edge, the edge of the line work itself. And somehow they kept it so clean. And I genuinely don't know how that's possible. Let's see. I'm just kind of looking at this area now. I can use a bigger tool. Really? And then back here they have like... To have done this really properly and to like really study this out, I would have just drawn one of their characters, but I think I can do this with Meredith. I'm starting to think... Now I'm just guessing. Genuinely don't know how they did this. Am I gonna have to jump over to draw on top of this layer yet? I think it might be time. Like, I think genuinely... There we go. That's more of like her blonde. I think genuinely they went on top very quickly. They had to. There's no other way, and so we're gonna hop up over to our line work layer. If I can rotate my canvas at all. Hey, why though? Why you be like that? Here's my brush. Oh no. 1 second, I gotta go into here and then just type things. We're back. My keyboard works again. Okay. Me debating. This is gonna require the line art tool, but I hate it. Why am I on the background? Here we go. See, that is starting to look a little bit more like what they're doing because we are merging the line work with the actual painting itself. It feels so wrong. But it seems to be working. Wish that I might switch to a different pen. I have this pen. It's cheating. It's a hair pen. It does things kind of like a bristly, hairy type of way. I remember this is pretty high DPI. It's 500 DPI. I know a lot of people like strictly only work in high DPI. I don't freaking know why. Like, do your clients really like that? Do they love getting a file you can't deliver? But then again, some of them are painting stuff for like t-shirts and stuff, so they do need that. I try to make things as easy as possible. That's a smoothing brush. That's not gonna work. So you can see I've got these brushes that mimic lots of different tiny hair strands, and it's probably really inefficient to use. I also think that I'm missing the big point, which is that there's a lot of warmth up here. So let's just warm this up a lot. I can delete stuff later from the outside. I mean, at this point I'm just painting. I already know how to paint. I am realizing this is probably how they did it. I was just hoping there was some secret to keeping line work clean. But what if it's just, well, they painted it and they just work clean. They just work really, really clean. What do I do if that's the solution? I guess work cleaner. Yeah, it's starting to look good. It's starting to look good. It's starting to look a little bit like what they're doing. I do think that me putting my own little spin on it is changing the overall vibe that the original had. And like they all have something right there to cover up this area. So I don't really know what this would look like. I assume it would just be more hair. But it looks like they keep that fairly straightforward. And they split it up at places where there would naturally be a split. And that's how they change up the local color to have all these glistening, beautiful looks to it. Near the skin color, I feel like, oh boy, we're at the face. Okay, here's what I can do. I can just start painting over it at this point. We've committed to just painting over our every single layer. I'm gonna keep that commitment alive. Except I'm going to grab this lower layer. We're just going to do the color dodge tool on it. I don't really like how they render skin. This is how they did it. Just dodge tool until it's so pale you would need a supplement. So I think I will stop color dodging at that point, just because of my own opinions. That looks better. And I can kind of add maybe a little bit more blush than they would. It is more of like a manga style, so it's meant to look like a cat or something. It's kind of the intention of animes to look cat-like. At least that's what I've heard. That's the internet reasoning for why anime looks like anime. But I think also at this point it is a language that people understand, and so they continue to use it Because it makes sense. Hey, is this not part of the head layer? It is. Oh, we're still on screen. That's why. So I'm just gonna use this under here. And when we get to these eyes, we're gonna spend some time there, which is good. I think people like to watch eye renders because it is pretty fun. I might just spend the rest of this half hour doing the hair and the eyes. Let's go to the top now. I think we've done all there is to do there. I don't think I'm using the same brush they are though, because mine isn't as smooth. But it isn't quite like this one. I think it's got probably more of like a mixing to it. If it's at like 65. Perhaps like that? Perhaps? Me just guessing. Anyway, back we go to the hair. Hair jail is just, again, a place every artist has to visit, every artist has to go. And, you know, we commit our crimes, we go to hair jail. It's just what happens. Now, something that I'm doing just out of habit, but I notice they don't really do. What they do that is they put a highlight that goes up the edge a little bit, and it gives a little bit of dimension to that hair as it goes down, but I don't think they really do that so much. Keep this really smooth, and it doesn't feel that smooth right now. Not really doing enough to define the shadow portions. But then again, I don't want to lose the fact that she is, you know, blonde, and initially I did make it a little bit more of a brunette because I thought I'd be doing a lot more like Dodge. I did do a little bit, but then I didn't end up doing a whole lot of it. Try to copy a little bit of what's going on right there. And let's break this up a little bit. That works. And I think down here, this is gonna be this scary bit, which is just saying, well, screw this layer, I'm gonna paint over it. There's the one that's just on the eye. And then this was actually like rather red. Now she doesn't really have anime eyes because she has like more of like a well, she doesn't have anime eyes, I guess. We're gonna try to capture a little bit of the jewel quality here that I think looks pretty cool. You know, the eye shape is different. I loved this song in the game. This is actually a pretty good lo-fi mix. I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna get lost in the clouds on these eyes for a second. It's always a good vibe, honestly. May as well. You have one life to live. Spend it drawing some fun eyes. Use some dodge and blur. Yeah, I'm gonna do it to the other eyeball at the same time. Kind of like doing your makeup. If you do just one and then go to the other side, it's gonna be a lot harder to copy. So like be very cautious of that. Over here, I actually want it to be more blue. I don't really understand why anime do like this multiple rings situation. It's an interesting eye choice. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna need like 6 billion DPI to even finagle with this. How did they get so close to the eyes in their picture? Were they in 600 DPI? Is that something they had to do? Am I going to have to do it? Can I get away with this? I don't know. I don't know if I can get away with this. Again, keeping it together on both sides because we want to make sure it reads well. Now she has like a golden bit right there, so I'm gonna do that with like a pink. Wow, that doesn't look different at all. How if I put color dodge right there? Not saturated though. Maybe because everything else around it is just very saturated. Okay, we're still alive. We're still going. Now, what's interesting is there is some. I don't know what that is. We're gonna put it in. I don't know what it is. Is she going in there? We still have color dodge on, by the way. Girl, you forgot. I straight up forgot. I think I've seen a lot of people do is put like a little highlight down there. I actually do like that. I want to do it here. No, it's not in my reference. I genuinely don't know. Okay, so they do like a spot. Oh, normal. Okay, they do a spot like that. And then we're gonna do that. Except no other part of the nose. Anime side mouth, yeah? Yeah? Now I want her makeup to be black. It's supposed to be kind of a gothy look. This brown black will work. This is honestly kind of takes a while to draw like this, huh? It's nice to be thankful for how I draw. Alright, and then I feel like this doesn't have the jewel quality. I don't know how to get that in there. So she does have like a darker color in between. Also, they definitely didn't do like a two-color situation with their eye. And that could be another reason why I struggle right now. And the fact that I have a very wide iris situation right here. Then back out to here to just pretend like I'm not just coloring it normal style. I was really hoping I'd figure out something as I was going about like, oh, and then there's this magic solution to do this really quickly. I don't think it exists. I'm the person that says it. I think they just draw it. I might have to watch some tutorials to get a better sense of like how that's done. But to me, this looks like you just drew it. Of course, we could do this situation. If you use like a little bit of the shadow color on the hair, it does make it look a little bit like it. Is see-through, which is undesirable for some. And then I'm gonna go back in to fix the lines that I just drew over. Yeah. Sounds good. Kinda wish I hadn't drawn over them, but it really does seem like it'd be like that. Now here's the thing, do I put the eyebrows underneath or on top of the eyes? And I think, sorry, on top of the hair. I think it belongs on top of the hair. I think this eyebrow needs to sing and live its best life on top of the hair. Even though I don't even remember what this eyebrow was doing. I want to say it was over here like that. Really glad it wasn't like that. Oh no. So one of the issues with going over your line work when you're painting is that you do run a huge risk of losing a lot of the energy you had in your sketch and in your drawing, because you work so hard on your drawing so it can have energy, so it can have flow, which is another reason why I was avoiding doing this. But it looks like something is coming together. I think that line is maybe too thick. This would also explain why their lines are so thin, because when you're drawing, you don't really want to have super duper thin lines, but like look how thin it got just because I'm painting over them back and forth. And so that's a possibility. I just have to learn how to paint better. I really like when actually they do this, so it's not like every hair is rendered. It's more of like a very clean situation. I'm gonna try to do something like that over here. I'm gonna go underneath this little hair strand, and again it shrinks that line down, makes it seem like, oh, we have really tiny tidy lines. We didn't really actually. What we do have is a we just kind of go back and forth over our work when we paint, which is normal. Alright, and I am about done with this Xenoblade 2 Lo-Fi. It has been about half an hour since I came back. My hands are still doing really good. This is a good thing. That means I'll be able to do more with my day. It's a lot easier to make hair that just kind of does whatever you want if you don't really care about sticking to the line work. Maybe this is another trick with anime artists that I've just never realized, is that because if this really is a painted layer on top, that's how you can get so many like hairs going like over. So if I wanted to have one that's just going like that, easy breezy. It's just line work on top. Not line work, painting on top. I'm not going to though. I considered it. I will put it over here though. I think that's fun. I think this is a good move. Good time. I'm just making sure that I'm not actually what's the word? Painting on my background. As for the line work itself on this edge, I don't know. I don't know how we clean that up later so it's not like super unclean. Because if you look at this, they put it on all these different backgrounds and it's so clean. And maybe they just cleaned it up really precisely. I don't know how much Mahjong Soul pays its artists, but it should be more. Alright. Got that. They have a light on the top. That light on the top, by the way, it's from film lighting. That's where we get it from. So you see a lot of stuff nowadays with people who do like portraits. Although that type of lighting typically isn't there unless you set up, you know, special for a portrait. When you're doing a portrait, it will usually be there. So you may as well just draw it in. She's looking fun, I'll be honest. This does look good. No, it is kind of weird to be stuck like doing her face for a million years. Like, why I should not do that. I should do the rest of her too. Alright. I don't know if it looks like a Mahjong Soul character. Probably not. I also don't think I should be redrawing this eyebrow so many times. I could probably move the eyebrows to a different layer on the very top, and then it's no longer an issue. Gosh, you know what this also explains? In a lot of anime, this part of the hair, let's go over to find it right here, is, as you can see, kind of see-through. If it's just a painting layer on the top, then they just took the skin color and they put it on top there, and it would be so easy. They didn't actually think about it in separate layers, probably. I'm guessing. I am still just guessing. But it does feel like once I started rendering it, it does look closer in style. It's not quite there to this, because obviously I didn't actually do the same image. But the line work shrunk. Well, I learned today.